He woke to the sound of his own breathing. It was shallow, quick, not from sleep, he realized, but from the memory of the voice he'd heard the night before. A whisper, or maybe just the walls playing tricks. He couldn't tell anymore. The apartment was quiet, except for the hum of the refrigerator. The hum that now felt too loud, too deliberate. He sat on the edge of the bed, hands gripping his knees, and stared at the corner where shadows pooled like spilled ink. Nothing moved, nothing ever moved. He had moved in 6 months ago, drawn by the charm of the old building, the high ceilings, the little balcony that looked out onto the street. But charm had a way of peeling back, of revealing something hollow beneath. And lately, every reflection seemed to hesitate before answering him. On the kitchen counter, a cup of coffee cooled, forgotten. He hadn't made it, not this morning. Or maybe he had, and the memory was missing pieces. His reflection in the window startled him, eyes too wide, cheeks too pale. He turned, thinking he'd catch someone watching, but the hallway was empty. His phone buzzed, and he flinched. A message from an unknown number. "Do you remember last night?" His hands shook as he opened it. Empty, just the text and nothing else. He wanted to reply, to say, "Who is this?" but the words stuck in his throat. He felt the tension coiling in his chest, tightening with each breath. He walked to the balcony, pressing his palms against the cold metal. The city lights flickered like weak stars. The streets were full of movement, people alive, breathing, laughing, and he realized he hadn't heard a human voice outside in weeks, maybe longer. Maybe the city had moved on without him noticing. Back inside, he checked the locks. All of them, every single one, but the certainty he sought wasn't there. Locking doors didn't keep out thoughts, and the thought that someone had been inside, maybe still was, slithered through his mind like a cold snake. He tried to focus, opened a drawer, found a notebook, nothing written inside. He must have bought it for something, but the memory had dissolved. He traced his fingers over the blank pages, feeling the texture, hoping it would anchor him. It didn't. His eyes fell on the bedroom mirror. Something had changed, or maybe he had. He leaned closer, inspecting every line, every shadow, and for a moment he saw not himself, but someone watching him, a version of himself that smiled when he didn't, a quiet, patient version that knew all the secrets he was pretending to forget. The lights flickered, a whisper, not the walls this time. He froze, heart hammering, "You're not alone." He spun around, nothing, air heavy, silence too sharp. He sank to the floor, hugging his knees, trying to convince himself he'd imagined it, but the whisper had been precise, intimate, like it came from inside him. He thought of calling someone, anyone, but his phone was dead. Of course it was. He'd charged it last night, or had he? The line between memory and imagination blurred. Every corner of the apartment held a question, every shadow a possibility. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time had a way of stretching here, distorting itself. He walked the apartment in circles, touching surfaces, listening for movement, counting sounds. Every squeak of the floorboards, every hum of the appliances became a voice, a warning. By morning, the whisper didn't return. The city roared back to life outside. He opened the window, let the light spill in. He wanted to believe it had been his mind, exhaustion, loneliness, but he knew better. He realized something he hadn't admitted before. The most terrifying things are not the strangers outside or the shadows on the wall. It's the part of yourself that waits patiently, quietly, that watches, that knows you can't ever escape it. And as he stared into the mirror one last time before leaving for work, he understood. The quietest, most intimate horrors are not outside. They're inside, waiting, patient, and sometimes you're the only one who will ever see them.